Hello, Fred. Have you seen The Matrix? Yeah. Have you seen the Matrix movie?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Oh.
The second one, Matrix Reloaded. After the keymaker is shot dead, Neo opens the door, and you've already been told by the Oracle that this is Source. As soon as he goes through the door, you see a star field. Now you need, if you've got DVD or Blu-ray, you need to freeze frame it, because just for a very few frames you will see a grid network right across the stars. And this is the Polish brothers who made the film, who have very close connections with the CIA, telling you that to get to Source, you have to get through the grid. Now I say to people who come to me via my website, and I do soul readings for them, that you know you've made it when you look down on the earth, you see the earth, and you see it covered in a grid like a net. And that's exactly what the Matrix was telling you. And that was made in 1999-2000. So I hate to say it, but anything that's coming out of Hollywood, please be careful of it, because whenever you see a near-death experience portrayed on the cinema, you will see a corridor, a door opening, and a white light. And you're encouraged to go towards the white light. Rather like if you go into a food mall, then you see one of those things on the wall that traps all the flies and then zaps them. I don't know if you've seen them. It's exactly the same principle. So, what you need to do is to say, I want to go to Source. I wish to go home. And every time you see the bright light, and just turn yourself from it in your mind and say, I wish to go home. Now, it might be that somebody comes to collect you. And remember what we spoke about before, you have to trust yourself. Is this really Jesus who has come to collect you to take you? Is it really your mother? Or is it a holograph? And then exactly use the term you have. So trust yourself. This is a form of enslavement and entrapment. But if you practice every day from now onwards, saying to your physical mind, I wish to go to Source, when your physical body does die, that will be imprinted on you, and the first thing you will think after your physical body's dead is, I wish to go to Source. So this is the first training you need to get yourself into. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's actually a very good question. When we reincarnate on the planet, our soul memory is partially wiped, not entirely. There is no other explanation for a 4 or 5-year-old child who can play the piano and has never read music. There is no other explanation for a 4 or 5-year-old child who can be a chess grandmaster. What's happening is the soul is remembering something from a past life. When you become spiritual, you begin to open a connection between your soul and your organic brain. When that happens, your organic brain will begin to draw down memory. And part of that memory is what we're doing here. There are 2 reasons why we incarnate on the planet Earth, generally. One is because we have situations that we have to learn and overcome and come to terms with that. Secondly, because we couldn't stand the situation here and we needed to come here. When you are in a higher dimension, you have telepathy, you have telekinesis. There is no problem that can fox you. But what does hurt people is emotional feelings. And so some people choose to incarnate here. They give everything up and come here. And the reason for that is there is no telepathy generally here, no telekinesis. If you have a problem, it is in your face. And the only way you deal with it is in here. And if you can do that, then 100 years on this planet is worth 100,000 years anywhere else, because your spiritual development is immense if you can reach what you need to reach. But people to incarnate on this planet, they have to be really pushed, driven, either because they wish some enlightenment for themselves, or they are so saddened by the horrible way that the majority are being treated by the minority. And so they come here to help. The problem is, when we all generally arrive here, we cannot remember who we are or what our plans were. And it's round about the age 50 that we begin to work out who we were and what we're supposed to do. So half of our life is gone. Blessed are those children, 3 and 4 years old, who remember who they are. You know, I've got 9 cats. Although you've only seen one tonight. You need to buy this. Or I'll see a picture of a 7-year-old girl crying and a dead rabbit in her hand, and it's saying, you should have got it vaccinated. For years and years and years, the corporate system has used fear to make you buy something. So if you don't put money away for your funeral, how are you going to be buried? So they're only using a tried and trusted method, which is if we put fear into human hearts, you'll stop having the time to think about the truth, to think about yourself. And if we bombard you and make you such a busy person, you'll never have time to meditate. You will always be reacting to the situations we give you. We then will control you because we will set the agenda. So that's partly the fear. The second fear is literally the energy that a human being creates when it is fearful. That is energy for these creatures. And also, thirdly, finally, if you are fearful, then you are open to suggestions from others. So in other words, we need to tap your phone lines because we think that there's a terrorist in your community. Now, if you're all fearful of that, you are more likely to agree. So those are the 3 reasons why fear is used. You talked about fracking. Yes, fracking is also a very important element because the Earth creates 2 forms of energy. One are the lines across the Earth, all the sacred sites, but the other is the underground water courses. Just as your human bodies have blood in your veins, so Earth transmits coded energy through its underground water courses. And the fracking is designed to release the poison chemicals into that to begin to stop the Earth communicating. Because humans and the Earth are like that. The Earth and the human race are connected. So as the Earth evolves, so human consciousness evolves. Now the bad guys know that, and their plan is to get the fracking oil or the gas, but also to pollute the atmosphere, to pollute the underground watercourse. So yes, you're absolutely right, and that's why we mustn't be fearful. And you can actually start to train yourselves. I'm going to give you some exercises to do. Not the sort of exercises you think I'm going to give you. You come up home and you drop something in the kitchen, or you knock a glass of wine over, your natural reaction is to shout or cuss or swear. Don't. Just say, that's a nuisance. Because if you can bring your energy response Instead of traditional humans are like this, peaking up and down, up and down. If you can level it, then you are not producing energy that negatives can use, and you are also disciplining yourself in the way that you will react when the television tells you that something has gone off. Instead of that immediate panic, you will just treat it in the same way. So your soul isn't the problem, it's your bodies and minds, because these are the things that have been programmed at the moment we were born. Before we became fully awake, we were stuck in front of the television. So you can start to train yourselves. Okay. I can say things because I myself am a Jew. So therefore, because I am a Jew, I can talk about Israel and Zionism without the elite turning on me. You will not find any information on the internet because those 10 senators have been released. Because how could you possibly bring senators to the judge for an attempt for the death of a president? It would bring the whole administration down. The object of the arrests of the senators was to put them into house arrest for a number of hours so they couldn't communicate with anybody, to break up that communication network. That was the principle. None of them went to a police station. That wasn't the sort of arrest that occurred.
It was for their protection.
No.
It was to prevent them talking to each other, because at that time nobody knew who was the ringleader who was organising the others. The hit squad was designed to take out President Obama because President Obama was refusing to carry out some of the instructions he was given. You must understand that 3 years ago Putin removed the Rothschild banking system from Russia. The Rothschilds do not have a bank anywhere in Russia now. Because because Putin now is just not taking any orders from anybody from the Western side. But you have to also understand that this Zionist group did not act on the instructions of the Israeli government. They are a completely separate group. If you think how the Jesuits are within the Vatican, so the Zionists are within the Jewish state. And the first question, there's the Red Dragon Society and the White Dragon Society. These two are very old families. Both sides of the family could be split, so if you have two sons, one could be in the Red Dragon group, one could be in the White Dragon group. Originally Chinese organization, not exclusively so. This is where the term the White Hats sometimes comes from. The Dragon societies are not evil in the sense of the word. They are a cultural organization that is designed to create power and money for the families and the supporters of those families. But they have become drawn into a wider argument outside of their own families. They exert tremendous power over countries like Korea, Vietnam, Malaysia, all of that area. The tribal agreements you're talking about, if I understand correctly, is a system to maintain America with its closest trading allies, where you don't necessarily use money, but you do favors for people. So